Hello everyone, my name is Mandel Man and welcome to my workshop. Today I'm going to make something special. It's just a cutting board. It's not really that special, but it's something I needed to do for a project that I'm working on. I have several things that I love to do, and I do a lot of things well and I do a lot of things okay. And I'm one of those people that you can kind of call a jack of all trades. But today I want to focus on this cutting board, and what I did was I repurposed some cabinet doors and some scrap wood and a couple other things in order to put this door together, or this board together, this cutting board together. So I have this new channel, and I'm making it for this new channel, and this new channel is called Mancraft Stuff. MANCRAFTSTUFF, all one word, just one word, just Mancraft Stuff. And I talk a little bit more on there. I try to be, I crack a few jokes maybe, and I try to be a little bit more humorous instead of, it's something you may like, you may not like, I don't know, but go over there and take a look and watch some of the cooking techniques that I'm gonna kind of present to you guys, and maybe you'll like it and maybe you don't. I don't know, but food is food. Food makes everybody smile to me. So just go over there and maybe you can learn something, or a thing or two, maybe, or maybe you can teach me some things. So back to this video here. Like I said, I repurposed some doors. I got some drawer fronts that I'm cutting down, and I'm milling them to the proper length. So, and some of these are door inserts also. But I had a lot of this stuff laying around, because I redid a kitchen, and I said, oh, these are, cherry doors, and they're solid wood, and that's rare. So once you get something like that, you just, no matter how thin it is, you kind of go, oh, let me see how I can work with it somehow. And this was the perfect project with it. So I'm not going to talk too much through it, but I made some mistakes. I made some good decisions, and hopefully you'll be able to, if you decide to do a cutting board, you can get through some of these problems yourself. So enjoy. Yeah, after milling everything down, I just kind of put together a pattern that I thought was aesthetically pleasing. And I don't make these often, but I've seen plenty of videos where people use the glue, the roller, to apply the glue, and just to make sure I had enough glue, I glued both sides of each board. You've seen some guys just lay them all down and just kind of roll over them, and that works fine. But sometimes I just didn't feel that it was enough glue, so I did both sides and hope for the best. Because I'm doing a edge grain board, not an end grain board, and there's a difference. A edge grain is just the smoother side of the board, and it's not the part of the wood that have all the straws that suck all of the water and the glue up. So and I just felt like doing this because I think that the end grain boards, they split a lot. And so if this one warp or something, I can always take it apart and reuse the wood for something else. So I'm just going for it. So I use Padauk, I use maple, I use some walnut, I use some cherry. Um, One of the biggest mistakes I think I made, and I always do this, and I don't know why, but I use Padauk with maple, and it bleeds, and that kind of gets on my nerve, but it's not enough to, stop me from using it. It's just I get a little mad because sometimes my maple turn out a little pinkish in some areas because of the oils that come from Padauk. But hopefully you won't, drive yourself crazy doing this. I just think it's beautiful to use those woods together, and I did it anyway. So here we are. I used a CNC machine to plane it down, to joint and plane actually. Um, it was pretty level from the start, but it wasn't necessarily even. So I used a spoil board bit, which is about 1.5 inches, and I went over the board, the front and back. It was pretty easy, and I used the tape and the gel CA glue to hold down my parts. I usually use um, the that clear plastic or um, um, shelf covering. That works better for me. This blue tape, it kind of peeled off some of the layers of the wood, and I wasn't really happy with that at the tail end. But I after I did that, I wanted to add a logo to my piece, and that's what I did. I incorporated the logo for the new channel, which is Mancraft, and that worked out fine. Except I had some hiccups on that, and you'll see soon because I added all the footage. I just figured, you know, you can learn from this, some of these mistakes. And here we are right here. Right here is where I made the male out of cherry, and the male was kind of broken up into little pieces. I don't know if cherry was the best wood to use, but I used it anyway. And by the time I got to the V-carve part, um, using a V-carve bit, it was a 60-degree bit, and it just kind of broke up the cherry. I'm thinking maybe I should have used a maple or not a maple, but maybe a walnut or a mahogany. But it didn't work out, so I improvised. And right here, as you can see, this is where my problems were. Some of the tails on my swishes were, and my serifs on my A's, and they were all screwed up. And so what I did was I improvised, and I used some epoxy putty. That stuff is really hard. It's hard as a rock. I never intended to use it. I don't know if it was intended to use on, a chopping board, but I used it anyway because I used it on other projects. And I had some very shallow areas anyway, that made it appropriate for use anyway. And basically, I'm using this for presentation anyway, so I'll never really cut on that end too much at all, if any. Now I just add some mineral spirits to the whole board and just slathered it on. I didn't care. Just I want the board to soak up as much as possible. There are some small imperfections in the board that you probably won't see. If they ever come up in the future, I'll just kind of, repair them and keep on moving. But I want to thank you for watching this, and I hope you got something from it. And if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Thank you. Please subscribe.